the pressure is on Parc des Princes to produce something similar, something, just slightly closer to what we experienced yesterday. You can't come and give us anything drab. No. But we know we are going to see a lot of tactical acumen on display. Why am I talking about that? Let's get to talk about what happened in the first leg between Arsenal and Paris Saint-Germain. But this evening, it is Paris Saint-Germain and Arsenal. There was a key missing factor in the play of Arsenal going into that game. They missed the Ghanaian Thomas Partey. He was out of action, and Arsenal were left wanting. They were run riot by a 4-3-3 structure that was laid out by the man Luis Enrique. Now, stay with me here. Now, that particular structure, that 4-3-3 structure, this is what led to the first goal. So, Dembele was literally floating in between the lines to make sure that he confused the back line of Arsenal. Arsenal defenders did not know whether to step up with Dembele or stay behind and try and shadow mark him. That was the first error, and this was what led to the goal. So, you have Mendes here, Saka stepping on Mendes, Vitinha drawing away the central midfielder, Ruiz also drawing away, and now you've got a very free way to Dembele, who is actually supposed to be marked by this gentleman here. Now, if you even leave it for him and you want him to be marked by this man here is confused because gentleman here has stepped out of position. He's got to maintain structure. Now, Ousmane Dembele, as a result of this confusion, is able to receive freely in the central part of midfield. 10, and then he has a lot of options here. He has got Neves on his right-hand side. He has got Vitinha, who could actually, because of his movement, he has drawn one person away, but could also turn and provide more room for him to get a passing channel. Arsenal's midfield was confused and they were dominated by this particular play. Now, PSG also exhibited some fluid midfield play in opening stages. Let's check out this particular one where Achraf Hakimi, who is, where is Hakimi on this particular? Good, because he almost left me confused when I was trying to study this particular sequence of play. Achraf Hakimi moved into the highest rotational position for his the part of the play that he was supposed to engage in a single pivot, and now they left Neves and Ruiz. They adapted their styles. They are more of combative and let's stay. Now, Nuno Mendes also worked the ball into Kvaratskhelia a lot of the time in that sequence. Arsenal, again, allowing Dembele to float in between the lines. That is their error. And it creates a situation where they could hardly understand when to press him and how to press him. You've got Martin Odegaard covering Vitinha, Declan Rice trying to tackle Ruiz, but it's not really working. Moreno, who is supposed to be, up front, is trying to cover Dembele in the center of midfield, which is really not helping the whole movement. Now, you've also got Saliba trying to now monitor Dembele as well and move into midfield with him. Gabriel narrowing from left of midfield. It was a whole clumsy situation, which in fact benefited Paris Saint-Germain. Now let's take a look at what Arsenal also tried to do on the day. Arsenal were not daft. Arsenal also tried as much as possible to press in a 4-2-3-1 situation, which led to a lot of potentials being created all around the pitch. It could have led to an equalizer, but it didn't. Yes, it didn't. They actually had the opportunity and they exploited a lot of things in that particular regard for their team. Now, here is a sequence where they are also trying as much as possible to keep the pitch narrow, not really just expanding it. The only place they really wanted to exploit is here, this area here. Why am I saying so? Because Hakimi was constantly bumping forward and refusing to come back to cover his area. So his area was for the taking, and that was actually what could have led to Arsenal's equalizer. Now, Arsenal also continued to threaten in the left hand because he was not there. He was not there. But Donnarumma decided that he wanted to be the man of the day, which has led us to have conversations about Donnarumma and then Luigi Buffon. Let's move it on from that particular sequence where Arsenal tried to exploit Hakimi's position, which they actually should be able to do more of today. Now let's get into another sequence where Arsenal were having a lot of interesting vibes with Lewis Kelly. His movement from left back into midfield, helping Arsenal's progression, finding a lot of clever spaces to receive and drive the ball forward. Rice and Odegaard were also man-marked, which allowed Lewis Kelly to have more contact with the ball and also be able to connect with the likes of Trossard and Martinelli. Now, PSG defended well. PSG, so this is what I was talking about with him receiving the ball. He's able to link up with Martinelli. He's able to link up with Trossard, and sometimes he could even find Odegaard. But because he was also left on his own, he was able to float all around. Now, going into this particular game, Arsenal have got their gem back in the man, Thomas Partey. He brings some sanity, some stability, some form of beautiful Rolls-Royce-like movement into midfield to allow the likes of Moreno to actually focus on being a false nine and also allow Declan Rice to bump forward in the half space. Odegaard can also try out the right half space. Odegaard, Timber, and then you know the man, Saka, should be able to create more combinations and more passing channels to threaten the man, Mendes, but that will be difficult. I feel that they should be able to replicate same on the left side, where possibly Martinelli, yes, Martinelli, Rice, and then, who knows, Lewis Kelly. Yes, they could actually form a trio to exploit the space that's going to be left by Achraf Hakimi. That's one way that Arsenal can surely turn the tide in their favor. But will it happen? We would all get to tell at the end of the day.